Welcome back to the webcast. It's Tuesday. That's NFL Picks. I'm Adam. That's Doug. Let's go. Welcome back to the webcast, All Sports One Web. It is Tuesday, 7 p.m., so that means NFL picks. We got a crazy great slate of games last week, highlighted maybe by that Kansas City-Tennessee game Sunday night. We're going to go through all of that as we get you ready and give you our picks for Week 10. And we do all of our picks through ESPN, so let's just go ahead and dive straight in and start picking for Week 10. We kick off here with the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Carolina to take on the Panthers. The Falcons got Cordell Patterson back last week against the Los Angeles Chargers. A great back and forth game there. Falcons up 10 early, couldn't hold on to that, miss out a game-winning field goal from the Chargers. Carolina on the other end, got the Joe Mixon show against them. 5 touchdowns for Joe Mixon against the Panthers defense. They put in Baker there late, take out PJ Walker. We'll see who is the starting quarterback come Thursday night in Carolina. But who do you got going into this one?
You know, the Falcons, they really deserve to win that game against the Chargers. It's just unfortunate what happened. You know, I don't really know what to make of the Falcons. They don't really have any superstars. They don't have anybody like that just wows you, but they just seem to be in every game, whether win or lose. They just are in every game. So to me, they're one of those teams this year where if you're, late in the playoff hunt, you do not want to see the Falcons on your schedule because they're just one of those teams. It's just they're tough to beat. Regardless of who you are, they're going to come out and they're going to play you tough. And I don't see Carolina being a team that can really give them issues. Whether they start Baker or PJ Walker, I don't think it matters. So to me, I got the Falcons in this game.
Yeah, they did a great job. The Chargers did. They did it. The Panthers did a great job keeping Austin Eckler down last week, and really only that late touchdown in the second half was really his real big play there to help the Chargers take the lead and then go on to win it late. And I think the way that they use Cordell Patterson, having him back in the fold, is going to help them enough. And I have them going into Carolina and getting the win as well. So let's roll with the Falcons Thursday night as we turn our attention to maybe one of the overachievers against one of the underachievers. We see Seattle go into Arizona. A great performance again from Geno Smith as Seattle was able to go in there and get the win, sweep the Arizona Cardinals on the season. Tampa Bay, the offensive line we know is a problem. They just cannot get anything going on the run game, and then they are having their star-studded wide receiver core drop key passes, whether that's Mike Evans, an 80-yard touchdown, or
Scotty Miller, the game-winning touchdown.
Scotty Miller, the game-winning touchdown last week. Tom Brady had to go on 2 consecutive 2-minute drives late in that one.
Tom Brady's not the issue with this team, and that was very evident in that game on Sunday. Wow. Just wow. I don't understand how you can have such a star-studded wide receiver lineup and nobody wants to catch the ball.
Yeah, no one wants to catch the ball. They can't block. I mean, the amount of times I felt like I was watching Ohio State play there a little bit. Running back would get the ball, fall over, 1.5 yard gain. It was really just trying to get past the line of scrimmage was the main goal of the running game. And they just weren't able to get anything going. Tampa Bay has played so many of these back and forth games. They finish 16-13, 15-17, super close, low scoring games. They get a high powered Seattle offense here that just looks like they have an identity and they know how to beat you. Kenneth Walker is continuously putting together great performances, a great performance there in Arizona with a couple of touchdowns. He goes to Tampa Bay now. Do you have Seattle going in there and getting another win, or can Tampa Bay hold their own there at home?
Yeah, this is a tough one. because Tampa Bay really needed that win. They got the win. They should be feeling, good about themselves about that win because that was a hard fought game. But Seattle they're not really slowing down. Even when they lose, they don't look bad or anything. They just kind of get beat out that day. Geno Smith I think I said it before, but he is no longer a backup quarterback. He is showing that he is the real deal, and he is not going anywhere. Which that's great to see. I like, it's been mainly the past few years. It's just, okay, who can we draft? Well, I like that this is somebody who's been in the league, and he's just kind of Ryan Fitzpatricking it, but
Yeah.
it's like it with just less mistakes. Fitzpatrick was more fun to watch because he was just so, I don't know, reckless, and he was awesome. But Geno is doing fantastic. It's really hard to pick against Geno, but I'm having a hard time because Brady looks good. Brady's 2-0 after his divorce. It's just I don't know if the shackles are off. Maybe, I'm not sure.
That's the true reason why they turned it around.
Yeah, I think Tampa Bay is going to win this game. I think they have a better defense. And I think that they can start kind of putting these games together. Like I said, they won 2 in a row. That's huge. They're really building momentum, and I think that Seattle could come into, they got to go to Tampa Bay, and I don't know. I'm thinking Tampa Bay might pull it out.
Yeah, that's one of the furthest away games in the country, going from Seattle to Tampa Bay. Seattle on a 4-game win streak, already having traveled to Arizona last week. This was, I think, the first week where all 3 wide receivers, Julio Jones, Godwin, and Evans, were all healthy for Tampa Bay, all for the entirety of a game this season. I think another week of practice with them. There's just too much firepower there. That defense is always going to hold its own. And so I agree. I like Tampa at home here against Seattle. But I think, Seattle's going to give them all they can handle.
Oh, absolutely. I think this will be a
Tampa
great
Bay.
game. And by the way, this will be Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London.
Oh, no, this is in Germany. This one's in Germany.
Yeah, in Germany.
So even further.
Yeah.
Even further.
So
I forgot.
This is actually not at Tampa Bay. I just looked at the time and I was like, oh, snap.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. This one's in Germany.
Well, that makes it a little different, but I still think it'll be the same result.
Yeah, I agree. I still like Tampa Bay in this one. Tom Brady's experience, the experience that they have with those wide receivers playing another week together, I think is going to help a lot.
And Julio Jones, towards the end of the game, was out because it was kind of like an undisclosed reason. It looked like he wanted to go back out, but the training staff wasn't letting him. So it was like something was kind of lingering. And so that'll be key to see if he even makes the trip, or if he makes the trip and plays, how much does he play?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That's true. I do expect him to go. So hopefully he does go.
I hope so.
But so we will see. But we got Tampa Bay getting the win there. As we move on to Minnesota, who had to fight for their win after starting off with a good drive there early, as they take on Buffalo, who went into the Meadowlands and caught an L from the New York Jets. What a performance from them. That defense is no joke. Buffalo at home in this one. It's going to be about 37 degrees in Buffalo this weekend. Do you think that high-powered offense can go in and go toe-to-toe with Buffalo in cold weather?
Well, they're in Minnesota, so it's not like, they're not used, or they are Minnesota, so they are used to the cold weather. So it's not like it's Miami going to Buffalo. The 78% picked Buffalo. I'm not sure that I can get on board with that big of a swing, because Minnesota is a really good team. They're probably top 4 team in the league right now. So, man, I don't know. It's hard to bet against the Bills, and having them lose back-to-back weeks. I just I don't buy it. I think the Bills are going to win this game just purely because they're too good. I think Minnesota has a great chance to win this game, but it's just I don't think Buffalo loses 2 in a row this season. I just don't.
Yeah, I think they're at home. I just don't see it. I mean, that game, twice this season, Buffalo had 2 games that they just really didn't have any business losing. And they lost both of them there to Miami and then to the Jets last week. I think at home, they're going to rebound. They're going to get back. Josh Allen played fantastic last week as well. They just couldn't do enough. And so I got Buffalo as well. Yeah. Detroit with the upset 3 interceptions of Aaron Rodgers there in their win over the Green Bay Packers. They travel to Chicago to take on Justin Fields, who is the first quarterback to run for, I think, over 175 yards and pass for
3
some amount. Or
3 touchdowns.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns. That's what it is. Yeah.
178 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible.
It makes me think, in a league where Michael Vick played, that stat never happened. And that's, I don't know if that goes to show that, Michael Vick was fantastic and great, but he was more in an era that we didn't have running quarterbacks. We considered running quarterback of Donovan McNabb or Dante Culpepper, and they weren't running quarterbacks. They were more of scramblers. Well, now you have Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, then you have Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields. Now it's like every single quarterback is expected to be able to pick up a first down with their legs.
Yeah, with their legs. And and back to the Michael Vick thing. I mean, you've seen Michael Vick break some crazy runs in his day, but you think to get to 175 yards, that is a steep mountain to climb. I mean, we applaud Derrick Henry for his performance a couple weeks ago as a 6'5", 225-pound running back getting to 204. And Justin Fields as the quarterback got to 175. Absolutely incredible. They take on a Detroit Lions team that was supposed to be the worst scoring defense in the league until they played the Packers. Do you see another good performance from Justin Fields and a Bears win, or do the Lions go in, get their offense going once again, and take the win?
I think the Lions are going to go in and they are going to shock the Bears because their offense is really good. I think they have a really, really good offense. It's just what's kind of held them back all season is that defense, how atrocious it's been. I don't see the Bears having enough to beat them, to put up as many points as the Lions can. And I think that's kind of what happened with Green Bay. They had to kind of go away from their game plan of just running the ball because the Lions were scoring. So they had to, score, and they had to try and throw the ball. Well, they don't have any receivers, as I've been crying for the last, I don't know, 2 years, it seems. Sure. Yeah. So I think the Lions are going to win this game purely on the fact that I don't think the Bears are going to be able to score very much. I think they'll be able to score because it's the Lions, but I don't think they're going to score, 24 to 28 points, which I think the Lions are going to score 31.
Okay, yeah. So I put this to you. The Lions have only scored above 20 points once in their last 4 games after, going all the way back to when DeAndre Swift got hurt. He is back now. You'd expect them to get their offense back together going soon enough. 15 points last week against Green Bay. So you have them getting it all back together and going into Chicago and getting the win. I can see it happen. I think Chicago is building a lot of momentum. Great performance against Miami. I think if they kept Roquan Smith, I think they end up winning that game. If they could get just one stop, that's all they needed. We saw how dominant he was against the Saints last night. Absolutely fantastic pickup for the Ravens. So I want to lean Chicago in this one, to be fair. I can see, this definitely going to be a close game coming down to it. The Bears obviously like to stick to the run game, whether that is now with Justin Fields or likewise, or with the running game. You don't want to go Bears in this one? You don't want to come over to my side and pick the Bears?
I like the Lions. I like the Lions, but I can pick the Bears. The Lions is a long stretch. I think they can. It's just if their defense will show up.
I think
I think they can score on the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, Miami proved that. I mean, everyone's really proved that, especially they trade away 2 of their top defenders in the last couple of weeks before the trade line. It's going to cause more problems for you defensively, obviously. But the fact that Justin Fields is developing this run aspect to his game and it's becoming more effective, I think as a team that likes to hand the ball to the running back 60% of their plays, having this dimension being added in is going to cause teams problems, at least in the beginning. I think it's going to open up that offense. They're going against a team that is this season has been terribly defensively, had a good showing. What are the chances they could put back-to-back good showings together? I mean, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw a red zone interception, which he never does, Lions lose by 28 points practically. So, I mean, it's on a knife's edge of winning to losing by 20 for them last week.
But that's the fun of watching the Lions play.
It's always
that's part of the fun. Is just never knowing if they're gonna win by 30, if they're gonna lose by 10.
And I tell you this, right? So plus they have their bye week after this game, and then they play on Thanksgiving. And so we know they're gonna win Thanksgiving. So if they win this game, you're telling me the Lions are gonna win 3 games straight?
Yes,
because they're obviously going to win on Thanksgiving. So
absolutely,
they got to take an L somewhere. I got them here with the Bears.
Okay, all right, I'll go with it.
All right. Tennessee, a absolute fantastic showing there against Kansas City. We're winning 75-80% of that game. Great. Final moments there from Patrick Mahomes, like usual. Denver coming off of a bye. Can they get that offense finally going after a bye week off? They travel into Tennessee. King Henry is in great form at the moment. Who do you got in this one?
Tennessee, because their defense, as shown on Sunday night, is awesome, immaculate, fantastic. Any adjective you want to use. They're great. And they know how to shut your weapons down. They may not play perfectly, for the whole game, but they're going to give you, they'll give you something. Obviously, they can't take away everything, but they're going to take away your star players. They're going to take away your big plays, your serious threats. So I think Jerry Jeudy in this game has nothing. I think he does 0 in this game.
Yeah, not the best team to kind of try and come after a bye week to get your offense going again.
That's what I mean. I don't think that going to Tennessee and with their defense to playing the way they are, I don't think there's a chance that Denver can do anything. Now, granted, they watched the Chiefs game, I'm sure, and they're going to be studying their defense, and they've had a few weeks to prepare, but the Titans are no joke. And even if they can get their offense going, how do you stop Derrick Henry?
Yeah.
How do you stop him? You don't. I mean,
you have to limit him.
You slow him down. You try and keep him under 120 yards rushing. That's basically all you can do. So I got the Titans in this one, and unfortunately I got them pretty big in this one.
Yeah, I can definitely see it. I'm hoping to see a little bit more out of Denver's offense after the bye week. I'm hoping to see at least some sort of life in there. They're not playing in a primetime game, so we know that's going to
Russell Wilson,
help them.
For goodness sake, they better.
Yeah. Do you think that it would get going? It would get going this week, but I agree with you. I got the Titans in this one. Jacksonville with the comeback win against the Raiders. You cursed the Raiders last week on here, saying that you would never believe in them again. I thought you were going to eat those words out at halftime when the Raiders were up, or halfway through the second quarter, I guess, when the Raiders were up 17-0 against the Jaguars. Jaguars battle all the way back, 27-20, the final. Jacksonville gets the win at home, but they get to travel to Kansas City, who has finished their gauntlet to open the season with 8 consecutive teams with a winning record from last year. Jacksonville, the first team that they will be playing that does not have a winning record, and they only went 6-2 against those teams. How do you think they'll do at home against Jacksonville?
Well, and one of them in the Colts, we should not have lost that game. So we should be 7-1. Just terrible. Chris Jones, dang it. Jacksonville playing the Chiefs. not a good look for them. They are, they escaped the L last week, and we're going to give them a real fat capital L this week. I don't think they have a chance in this game.
Yeah, I would agree with that one. College football playoff rankings just released here. Georgia 1, Ohio 2, Michigan 3, TCU 4, Tennessee 5, Oregon 6, LSU 7, USC 8, Alabama 9, and Clemson 10 wraps up the top 10. With the losses, and we're going to get to this. We talk college football every Friday, 7 p.m. We do our college football picks as well as recap the previous week. We'll be giving you our top rankings as well on Friday, every Friday until the end of the season. Now, I think that pretty much is as expected, with Alabama going down to LSU and Georgia smacking Tennessee, with the other inter-conference games like Georgia, Oregon, Alabama, even Tennessee, and all of those kinds of games. I think the rankings kind of shook out as expected. I don't know that many people would disagree or even move any of these teams around inside the top 10. But we will get to it Friday. Any reaction to that top 10? The same.
You said LSU was 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
above a one-loss USC, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah, I think it sucks for them because they do have the 2 losses, but now people don't think Alabama's good anymore. So that, I see a lot of people saying, I really worry about Alabama. Is this the last year for Nick Saban? They're all going crazy off the deep end when it's like, guys, it's one season. He's had 14 in a row that are perfect. So I think they can afford one.
Yeah. I just have one comment, though, here. Okay, just one comment here. Alabama loses to number 1 and number 5. Mm-hmm. Right? They sit at 9. Penn State's 2 losses are to number 2 and number 3. They sit at 14.
Yeah, I mean,
it's an interesting thought.
But to me, it goes off of who they think is better.
Yeah,
it doesn't go off of pedigree anymore. But I do think. I mean, they lost to number 2 and number 3 in the country?
Yeah.
Why aren't they 7?
Yeah.
Why aren't they 10?
Yeah,
they can't,
exactly.
It's like they're not even getting a shout for being, what is it? What are they? 6-2 or whatever it is?
7-2. Yeah.
7-2.
Same as Alabama.
But yeah. And they lost to the, 2 top 3 teams.
Yeah.
But I think LSU, they could have maybe even jumped up to 5. But they don't think Alabama's very good anymore.
Yeah.
And it's hard
with Tennessee, Oregon with both one loss. They got to be ahead of LSU for me.
I
the
USC
agree. One is argumentative, but we'll get into it Friday. I digress. Sorry, I took you away from that. Breaking news, college football news.
This is the one that I think is better. I think this is more real life. I mean, I had Georgia at number 1 and Tennessee at number 2. Well, we went to show that I was correct. Let's go ahead and just throw that out there. I needed to say
there we go.
I was
That's
correct.
What it was. That's wrong. What we needed to get to. That's what we needed to get to.
But now I think all is right in the world in college football. With the
yeah. At least better. The Browns, off of a bye week, travel to Miami to take on the Dolphins, who great performance offensively. Another day, another 100 yards for Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle touchdown. I mean, it's just kind of the day, the way the Dolphins run. Browns got extra week to prepare for this one. Can they do enough to stop Miami, or is Miami just going to roll?
I think the only thing that the Browns are going to get from this game is a tan. Honestly, I think that's really it. I mean,
isn't there a hurricane coming?
There is, but it's a tropical storm. It's no big deal. Yeah, I think Miami, like you said, it's just the Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill show. I mean, they can't be stopped. To me, that was probably the greatest trade from the past few years, was getting Tyreek Hill, and then having Jalen Waddle, just giving Tua the weapons. You see,
he can't throw that far. He can't throw that far. So what's the point?
We'll just give him the ball 5 yards up the field, and they'll make it happen.
Yeah,
it doesn't need to be pretty. It's just give it to your best players on the field.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill is only on pace to have the most receiving yards. He's the fastest anyway to whatever receiving yards beat Calvin Johnson career wise, and he's the fastest to do that. And now he's just on pace to break some receiving yard records this season. So no big deal.
I mean, he's the fastest guy in the NFL. You just give him the ball, he makes one move, and then nobody can catch him. It's insane, but it's it's just hilarious because they went all in for Tua, but Green Bay won't go all in for Aaron Rodgers. I just don't get it. I just can't. I can't.
Priorities. I
think Miami win this game.
Let's go Dolphins in this one. Yeah, I think they'll have a little bit too much, even for a rested Browns team. The Giants, they will be taking on the Texans, who came off of a good performance there last Thursday night, hosting the Eagles. The Eagles were able to pull away there in the second half. The Giants coming off of a bye, but not unscathed, as Mitchell, their cornerback, broke his hand in an ATV accident. Another Giant hurting their hand in off
and
the field.
Extracurricular
activities, right up there with JPP and the firework episode a couple of years ago. Giants at home, though, 6-2, also a big surprise, but a great season that they've had. They're going to be too much for Houston.
Yeah, I mean, they're rested. They're coming off a bye. Saquon Barkley, able to kind of ice some of those bruises and ice his back from carrying the team the first 8 weeks. I think that the Giants are going to come out explosive, and I think that the Texans are just not in a really good spot. I don't think they have a chance in this one. Yep,
I agree. I think Texans just can't get enough going to cause any problems. And I got the Giants as well. But I will say, I think because Lovie Smith got fired this week, right? Lovie Smith got fired. Yeah, I believe he got fired. So I wonder if the energy level is going to be a little bit up from the Houston Texans. We saw something similar with Carolina, and we will get to the Colts here shortly.
Yeah, I did not see. I didn't see that, and that's exactly what I was going to say. Is how does Lovie Smith still have a job? But he does not. So we carry on.
Yeah, I believe. Did he? Maybe he did not.
Well, if he didn't,
I just assumed that he would.
I wasn't surprised when he told me. I went, "Oh, okay, cool. It must have just missed the news."
All these coaching changes all over the place across the sporting world. That one surprises me. Anyway, New Orleans, a decent performance last night. Just couldn't get really anything offensively going against a good Baltimore defense there at home with a couple of injuries themselves. They will now take on a rested Pittsburgh Steelers team that has endless amount of injuries. Who do you got there in Pittsburgh in a battle of the
Yeah, that's a really, really good way to put it. I struggle with picking a winner because the Steelers have a solid defense. They've always been known for a solid defense, and they're known for a defense that confuses people. It's just not a straight up defense here. Here's what we're going to show you. Just try and beat us. They confuse you like a Bill Belichick. They don't always play the same way, but they figure it out, and they really confuse, they confuse offenses. But they can't score. They have no offense. And then but they're going up against the Saints, who also don't have a great offense. So this is hard to pick a winner in this game. It'll probably be like 38-35 or something because we talked about them not being able to score.
Not being able to score, yeah.
I think the Steelers are going to win this game at home.
Yeah, I like the Steelers off a bye week with Mike Tomlin. Always a good recipe for success. So I like the Steelers in that one. If Marshawn Lattimore plays, I think we might have, especially Davenport as well, also injured last night, wasn't playing. So two very important people on that side of the ball for the Saints. Taysom Hill, I think, gives the Saints, that extra little bit of creativity that defenses need to worry about. And so if he has a big game, I think the Saints will have a chance. But other than that, I like the Steelers in this one. I mean, Kenny Pickett, 2 touchdowns, 8 interceptions in his 150 odd throws or whatever it is so far. kind of going back to Pittsburgh, being at home, having a bye week, being prepared, better prepared, especially with some of those key guys on defense for the Saints most likely going to be out. I like Pittsburgh.
You think Trubisky starts, or you think they stick with Pickett?
I think
stick it with
your season's over. Why are you going with Trubisky?
I agree. I completely agree. Yeah. But on the other side of that, you don't want to break his confidence by, letting him take a shot.
Yeah, you could say that.
Manning record.
I was just about to say, though. I mean, even if he keeps on this bait, I don't even know if he'll beat 28 for Peyton Manning interceptions in a rookie season.
It was an incredible.
You can always, you could always give him a little bit of hope. Like, look, you did better than Peyton Manning in his rookie year, and
true.
So, especially if they can make him more of a game manager. I mean, that defense is going to take care of itself. We saw that against Cincinnati. That defense, even though they had TJ Watt in that one opening weekend, their defense will give you opportunities as offense. As long as you don't turn the ball over, you can get a couple plays together. You're going to end up with some points and be in every game. So if they can kind of make him that and not, lead, 8 interceptions is just way too high of a number. For the amount of games that he's played. So if they can reduce that, I think they got a better chance. The Raiders, your team in exile currently, takes on the Indianapolis Colts. But before we get to the game, we got to sidestep a little bit here as the Colts fire Frank Reich and hire Jeff Saturday as
the best center to ever grace the face of this earth.
Maybe so, but also the first person to get a NFL head coaching job without any college or NFL coaching experience at any position since the 1960s, when they were just fresh off of this whole notion that you were kind of like a player coach, where your coach had to be a player as well. That kind of was, big role there in the 20s, 30s, and then into the Super Bowl era. We kind of converted over to, coaching being actual coaching. And so it's been a long time since we've seen something like this happen. Frank Acho on ESPN mentioned Reggie Wayne has the same kind of career statistics as Jeff Saturday. His argument there was, if that's the reason that you hired him is because of his NFL experience, because that's what he has on his resume, why not Reggie Wayne, who is also a part of the current Colt coaching staff? Any thoughts on him being hired, Jeff Saturday?
Yeah,
right move, wrong move?
Well, who knows? The guy has zero coaching pedigree at all. I feel like if it was even like the University of Ohio, sure.
Go Bobcats.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I can get on board with that. Or if it was like Bowling Green or something where it's like,
Go Falcons.
It's a big school, but their football is not on the grand scale. Like, that's not what they're known for. That's not their whole identity. This is a professional NFL team. You can't just take a chance with a guy because he's Jeff Saturday, one of the best Colts ever. You know what I mean? They're going to retire his jersey. I don't know. But it's just he was a fantastic player, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be a good coach. Now you have Reggie Wayne on your coaching staff.
John Fox.
It's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to not give Reggie Wayne that opportunity unless he turned it down. Which why would he?
That's interesting.
I don't understand why he would, but I don't know. I wasn't a part of those conversations, so I don't really know. But I just feel like if I was Reggie Wayne and I didn't turn the job down, which means I didn't get asked, I would feel a certain type of way about it. But I think Jeff Saturday, he's going to bring a serious intensity that they've probably been missing. And that offensive line they have some really good players, like Quentin Nelson. And I think he's just going to make them so much better. And now I'm curious to see, does Matt Ryan start again?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, see, so that argument as well that's kind of been lumped into all of this is you're hiring a coach with no coaching experience to coach your team, and you don't have a quarterback. That just screams tank job for a number one pick so you can get hopefully land a future quarterback. And I don't know how much I buy into that. That I really just, as soon as I hear that argument, I really just get really pissed off at the whole tanking experience, because as a sports fan, I don't know why you get to watch your team play 17 games a year if you're a bad football team, and 90% of that is them trying to lose. I don't know why we introduced that into sports. I hate the whole concept of that. And so I hope that, especially these are competitive football players. These are the top of the top of the top. They're going to win every game. They don't want to be losing. So I don't really like that argument very much. The team's trying to tank. And so I agree. The manager bounce we talk about all the time with EPL. You bring in a manager. We saw with Carolina, even in the NFL a couple of weeks ago, firing Matt Rule, and that 2-game bounce that they had, playing really good football, good energy there. I agree. I think the Colts will bring good energy. It's an interim job. I think interim jobs, for me, the best way to do that is to hire within. I think you still can get that energy boost. John Fox, Super Bowl winning head coach, I think can do a pretty good job there.
That's what I mean. I don't understand.
Given the job, Reggie Wayne given it, or you can give someone an opportunity to become a head coach. I feel like this job, I don't see how Jeff Saturday could get this job as an interim and then actually stay on as a permanent head coach in the NFL. So I don't really understand it, the purpose of it. I guess we will see.
If he turns the team around and gets 7 straight wins.
Yeah, well, then you have for all of you Manchester United fans out there that also like the NFL, then you have an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer problem, where Ole's at the wheel because he was given an interim job for 8 months and then beat PSG off 2 own goals and a penalty, and then was given the job for 3 years. So I don't know. I don't like it, but I think there'll be big energy. So what's your opinion now? A little bit of an energy boost. They're probably going to galvanize there together. Are they going to be able to take that energy into Las Vegas and beat a team that I have no idea what they're doing with their life? Honestly, I cannot understand how they lose games. It doesn't make any sense. You watch them and you're like, either A, wow, what a good team with, good quality, or B, what in the world are you choosing to do? And they just lose. I don't understand how they come to these decisions.
I think it's coaching.
This is terrible.
It's Josh McDaniel. I just don't think he's a good head coach. I think he's a great offensive play caller. I think he's an offensive genius. I mean, he showed it at New England. For all those years he was coaching, he was just fantastic. That team was incredible. In Las Vegas, they can score. But when he's the one making the decisions to do a fake punt in their own 30-yard line on 4th and 2, or they're throwing a 40-yard fade on 4th and 1. It doesn't make sense. I just don't think he needs to have a game manager. Like he'll just call the plays, and then somebody else can just manage like the timeouts and the challenges and the play calling as far as do we go for it or not.
So just become an offensive coordinator with a title head coach. That's what you want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. Just let everybody else do that stuff for you, because clearly there's something going on. They can score. They are good offense. They're not a bad team. They just screwed up. And I think they're going to do it again. I think the Colts are just going to go in. They're just going to run the ball, because you have a center who, come on. I played center. I hated pass blocking. It was stupid. Just run the ball. Let's just beat the guys across from us, and we'll just run. And it helps that they don't have a great quarterback at the moment. So they have a great running back. Let's just run the ball. I think the Colts will go in and win.
Yeah, that's the thing. We saw Judon with the Patriots just extend his sack lead atop the NFL. I don't know how many he had, 3 or 4 out of the 9 that the Patriots had against the Colts offense. I know you're bringing in one of the greatest centers of all time, and Jeff Saturday is your head coach, but in the span of 6 days, can they get that offensive line to play well enough to keep them in games?
Honestly, I do think so.
Yeah, in 6 days.
It's a mindset. It's a tactic. There's a lot that goes into offensive line, because these defenses get so crazy, with all the different stunts and whatever they're running. I honestly do think that he will mix it up. He will shake it up. I wouldn't be surprised to see a completely different offensive line out there to shake some things up. Left tackle playing at right guard or something. I think he will be able to kind of see that because he lived it for so long. Or he could come in and be an absolute flop and be a total joke. But I just don't think so. I think if anything, he will make that offensive line better. They may lose, they may be a terrible team, but he will make some part of that team better. It's just we'll see. I do think that they will come in and win this game, though. I think they're a good enough team. I think their defense is solid, and I think the Raiders just know how to lose. They're good at it.
Yeah, they're in exile, and so I can roll with the Colts on this one just because they're in exile, and I cannot
until they prove
until they prove that they can get off the island of failure. I just cannot believe it. They have too much quality to be in the position that they are in. Colts with Jeff Saturday shock the world, roll in Las Vegas in this one. Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, we know their start of the season, getting Dak back. That defense is absolutely fantastic. Now they're off a bye week, and they get to roll into Lambeau against a Packer team that just put up 9 points against the worst scoring defense in the league. Now they got to take on the Cowboys. They still got Aaron Rodgers, who actually have a defense. They still have Aaron Rodgers. You give Green Bay any chance in this game. Oh, I totally forgot. How did I just gloss over this topic with, oh my gosh, now I'm just forgetting his name. The coach of the Cowboys, Mark McCarthy, going into Lambeau. Mike McCarthy, return to Lambeau.
I think he's going to return to Lambeau, and Dak is going to throw for 400 yards, and Zeke is going to run for 150. I just think the Packers are not a good team right now. They can't score. Clearly, 9 against the Lions has got to be the worst. I mean, that's just got to be the worst ever. Yeah, I don't think they have a chance in this game. They are in complete shambles.
Yep. So we got 6 consecutive losses for the Green Bay Packers as they compete with the Colts to tank this season. Arizona with that high-powered offense a couple weeks ago. They got DeAndre Hopkins back. They were getting him into the fold. They looked like they were going to, get going again. And then last week against Seattle, breaks, just could not really get anything going against Seattle as Seattle was got the win there in Arizona. They now take on a anemic offense in the Los Angeles Rams that just are Cooper Kupp or bust. So which one of these teams for you get back on track offensively and get a win in this game?
I think the Cardinals will. I think that they are a good team. I think that they have shown that, DeAndre Hopkins is huge for getting him back. But I don't think he is their team. I think they can still do things without him. But just having him back, it just opens up, Rondale Moore to be the playmaker he is. And, it really just kind of brings the whole team together. When you're missing your best player, obviously that's going to happen. The Rams, you hit it right on the head, just an anemic offense. They can't run the ball. And if you double team Cooper Kupp, who do you go to?
You would think Allen Robinson.
You would think, but he's had like 1 catch in the past 6 months. So I think that the Cardinals will go into Los Angeles and win this game. I think their defense will shut them down. I think they're going to struggle.
Yeah.
I don't see a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I don't see a high-scoring competitive game. If one of these teams' offenses can catch fire somehow, I would lean towards Arizona being the one that would do it. And I just don't think that both will do it. I am not convinced that Cliff Kingsbury is as you talked about Josh McDaniels there at Las Vegas. I put Cliff Kingsbury now in that same category then, because I just do not think that highly of him as a head coach.
I think he's a good play caller.
I think there's just some issues from a head coaching perspective that is plaguing the Arizona Cardinals. They just continuously get in their own way and prevent themselves from winning football games. Billy Price with the snap over his head, the endless amounts of false starts that they had in that game against Seattle. I mean, they're at home. How is this happening? And it's just terrible, like things that you think that would be cleaned up, like a Bill Belichick would never allow on his football team to happen. And so, Scott McVay, we know what his coaching pedigree is. So it's a tough one for me, but I agree. I think Arizona has, a chance to catch fire. And if they do so, I just think that offense will carry them. But
yeah,
just not happy where either of these teams are at the moment.
Yeah, my thing with the Cardinals is the Falcons have a better record. But I think the Falcons' record kind of reflects how good we think they are.
Yeah.
The Cardinals' record does not reflect how good we really think they are and how good they should be. They should be, a 5-4 or 6-3 type of team, not a 3-6 team where they're scratching and clawing at every game.
Yeah, who would have thought entering Week 10, Arizona, the Rams, Tampa Bay, Las Vegas would all be
under 500,
having lose multiple games under 500. Only Tampa Bay is one game under 500. That's it. They're the only ones. Everyone else is multiple games under 500, and the Packers. Throw the Packers in there as well. Absolutely crazy. But we got Arizona to get the win in that one. The Chargers will go and take on the rested San Francisco 49ers. Last time we saw them, Christian McCaffrey was not only running for touchdowns, he wasn't only receiving touchdowns, but he was also passing for touchdowns. Now they have a week off to get him even more integrated. I don't even know how you do that.
He's going to return kicks and punts. He's going to kick field goals.
It might be the first one to get a pick six, a sack fumble for a touchdown, a return for a touchdown, reception, a running, and a passing touchdown. Let's go for the sixth tuplet there. San Francisco Chargers. Obviously, Joey Bosa is still out there on the defensive side of the football. Such a big presence that he has.
Huge.
But Chargers sit at 5-3 so far. Can they go into San Francisco against that rested defense and that that new look offense and get a win?
It's just tough. I mean, it's like we saw what happened with basically 1 week of the playbook under McCaffrey's belt and how much it changed that team. And they didn't have Deebo Samuel. So this game they should have. I think he's still, noted as questionable. But if you have Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey, I mean, those are two of the most dynamic players because they can line up at receiver, they can line up at running back, they can do wildcat formations.
They can play quarterback.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They can do wildcat formations because McCaffrey, I guess, is just a QB now. If this wasn't in San Francisco off of a bye, I may lean Chargers because I think they have been playing well. But in San Francisco, off of a bye, another week of McCaffrey playbook time, I just think the 49ers are going to win this one because of all of these compounding reasons. I think that it's a big, big ask for the Chargers to go there and win.
Yeah, the thing for the Chargers for me, I don't remember the last time they played 60 minutes of perfect football.
Yeah.
Good football. There's always periods of time they got down early. They couldn't get anything going early against the Falcons. And that was against, Cordell Patterson coming back. Now you have to go against a Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey, a bye week and on the road as well. I like San Francisco big in this one. I think they will roll there at, is it still called Candlestick? It should still be called Candlestick. I'm going to call it Candlestick anyway. Candlestick up there in San Francisco. Washington with a gut-wrenching loss there to the Minnesota Vikings. That defense came to play there at home, but they have to go travel on the road, take on in-division rivals, top of the league, undefeated, on a bye. Philadelphia, not on a bye, sorry, 10 days, because this is Monday Night Football. They played last Thursday, so it's 10 days, practically a bye. Philadelphia Eagles, who do you got?
The Eagles have not been playing stellar football the past few weeks. They didn't kill the Texans like we all thought they would. But Washington, they're coming out, they're playing great defense. Taylor Heineke's playing fairly well. It's a hard ask for to go up against this good of a defense. And like you said, essentially off a bye, 10 days to prep for this kind of
a team so well.
That's what I mean. And not so good of an offense, even if they don't know the ins and the outs, it's just player for player, Philadelphia is better. You know what I mean? On pretty much every level, except for maybe Terry McLaurin. Yeah, I think the Eagles are going to win pretty big because their defense is so good. I think they're going to confuse Heineke. And I don't think it's going to be a super high-scoring affair, though.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if Washington's defense can show out against the Philadelphia offense that we know is good. But we saw them last week, Washington against Minnesota. Not much high-powered offense, better than Minnesota there. Washington was able to hold them for majority of that game and almost get the victory there at home. They do have to go on the road. I agree, though. I think Philadelphia is just a little bit too much for them. Fly, Eagles, fly. Season remains. Watch out, offense. Watch out. Here come the Eagles. And there you go. There are all our picks for. Oh, wait. That's not all of them? We're missing one?
Where are we missing one?
Did we miss one?
Did one just not lock in? Oh.
I
guess it just didn't lock in.
That one should be a free space. If this was bingo, that one would be a free space. There we go. We do all of our picks through ESPN. We take our 74-46 record. We crack the top 200,000. Again, we are going for number one. We got 8 weeks left. Let's go. We got to continue this good run. Where did we go last week? We had to have gone at least I don't know. We had to go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, 8-0, 8-1. Well, that doesn't count. 8-2. That one's fine. 9-2, 10-2, 11-2.
Pretty
not
solid.
too bad. Not too bad.
Pretty solid.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. So hopefully we can beat that and keep our good streak going. Get your picks in at ESPN.com. We do NFL on Tuesdays. We do Premier League on Wednesdays. We got Champions League draw for you as well tomorrow. So come back and join us for that. World Cup squads are going out. Our World Cup videos are also going out. We got a couple on the U.S. as well as the Messi versus Ronaldo legacy. Go check those videos out. The World Cup is counting down. We are almost 2 weeks. We're less than 2 weeks away, 13 days away from the kickoff of the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. So we're going to give you a lot more content here on the webcast. So come and join us. And Friday, as always, is college football. Doug and I will be giving you our rankings. Maybe a little bit easier this week to do them than it was last week or in previous weeks. But for all of us at the webcast, we will see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. I'm Adam, and that's Doug.